Please remain standing as firefighter David Durant leads us in the singing of the national anthem.
Teacher, and salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, two.
Please remain standing as we welcome FDNY Chief Chaplain Rabbi Joseph Potasnik for an opening prayer.
Thank you. In our religious traditions, mountains play a prominent role. We speak of Mount Sinai, Mount Ararat, the Sermon on the Mount. The reason is, I think, because in life we have to learn to make mountains out of moments. We come here today for this mountain of a moment. Years ago, Bishop Fulton Sheen said that when a young person enjoys a special moment, he or she will turn to the parents and say, let's do it again. Well, you built this museum years ago, and then you recognized because it is so special, we have to build it again. So, whenever we use wine in a religious ceremony, we fill it to the top. We say to people, drink a little, because we want them to know something many of you already know. You want to make a difference in this world, you give as much as you can, but you take as little as you can. So all of us are here because of all of those who gave so much and took so little for themselves. And we remember them, those who preceded us, and we also realize there will be those who proceed us. And they have made it possible for us to be here on this sacred day because they belong to a special community called FDNY. Amen.
Please retire the colors.
Color guard, right, face. Color guard, forward, march. Left, 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 left.
Everyone, please be seated. Good morning and welcome back to the New York City Fire Museum. I'm Alex Savaki, the Executive Director of the Public Housing Community Fund. You may wonder why I'm up here today, and I'll explain in a few moments why I am emceeing this event and opening up this incredible ceremony and very good day for the New York City Fire Museum, the FDNY family, and our city. But first, I want to recognize the dignitaries that have joined us here today. FDNY Commissioner Lillian Bonsignore. First Deputy Commissioner Daniel Flynn. Chief of EMS Operations Paul Miano. Our local council member Christopher Marte. Councilmember Joanne Ariola. Just heard from FDNY Chief Chaplain Rabbi Joseph Potasnik. Board Chair Ted Grant. And of course, Executive Director of the New York City Fire Museum, Dominic Derubio. So I will be brief, but before I introduce the person who brought us all together today, I want to say something about friendship and about showing up. Dominic Derubio and I have been sidekicks for a long time, both Eagle Scouts, which probably explains some of this. When a Boy Scout camp on Staten Island known as Pouch Camp, a place that generations of Scouters came to love, was threatened many years ago, Dominic and two other individuals joined me in saying, "Not without a fight." We became co-founders of the Committee to Save Pouch Camp, and years later, successfully preserved the camp in perpetuity. Later, we co-founded Friends of Postcards on Staten Island with other good friends here today, Victoria Cerullo and Amy Rice, working to preserve a place of remembrance for the Staten Islanders lost on 9/11, and since due to illness. For Dominic, that history is deeply personal. It comes from a family of generations of service in the FDNY, his brother James here today, serving as a Port Authority police officer. And on September 11th, Dominic lost a member of his family, David Derubio. Dominic often talks about Dave and the number on his FDNY shield, 226. Now, Dominic and I have run New York City, Chicago Marathon together, and trust me, he trained more than I did. He runs much faster than I. And when Dominic ran London, I flew over to cheer him on. But Dominic didn't just run London to finish another marathon. He ran the entire race, if you don't know this, wearing an FDNY helmet in Dave's honor while raising money for charity. And afterward, Dominic presented me with Dave's helmet badge, 226. I keep this in a display case at home, reminding me of Dominic's commitment to not only this cause, but his commitment in service. And it's what brought us here today. This gesture says something about Dominic. It doesn't just carry a memory for himself, it gives to other people to carry with him. And maybe that is part of what service really is. We inherit something important, a memory, a responsibility, a friendship, an idea, much like this museum, and instead of holding on to it, we give it away so it can keep living on in others. I've come to believe that life has a way of bringing us together, much like today, and then bringing them back together around the things that matter most. That has certainly been true for Dominic and I. Most recently, Dominic somehow convinced me that a perfectly reasonable idea for two Eagle Scouts, and mind you, he has two beautiful kids and a lovely wife, Crystal, at home, would be to travel to a small town in Italy, a foundry, to help bring a bell back home to New York with some other individuals in this room. A bell created to honor those who have become sick since 9/11 and those we have lost because of 9/11 related illness. I didn't say no, I said, of course. There's a thread through all of those experiences. Dominic understands that memory isn't passive, that service isn't passive, and that you make sure the next generation understands why it all matters. That is certainly what we're celebrating here at the museum today, and that's exactly why I think this is the right moment for the New York City Fire Museum to be led by my friend Dominic Derubio. And it's also why I'm especially proud today that on behalf of the Public Housing Community Fund and the 500,000 residents we serve living across public housing in our city that works closely with this museum on fire safety education, we are announcing today a $50,000 commitment towards the creation of a lithium-ion battery education hub here at the museum and toward expanding our partnership to serve those 500,000 New Yorkers living in public housing, which will save lives. And the reason why we're making this commitment is that museums like this don't just tell us how New Yorkers served and sacrificed in our city, but under Dominic's leadership, it can use that history to save lives. I've been thinking a lot about a simple idea as we enter the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and it is this: leave nothing important ungiven. If something matters, if someone matters, show up for them. If a cause matters, give yourself to it. If a memory matters, give someone else a reason to carry it forward. And if an idea can make someone's life better, act on it. I know for sure the museum, in many respects, lives up to these principles. Friendship means showing up. Memory means making sure what mattered to one generation is carried to the next, and that any ideas only matter if we have the courage to put them in the world. Leave nothing important ungiven. Dominic has spent a lot of years showing up for things that matter to all of us, and today we have the privilege of showing up for something that matters deeply to him and to all of us. My friend, my fellow Eagle Scout, my marathon partner, my sidekick, and yes, the executive director of the New York City Fire Museum, Dominic Derubio.
Alex, you're a great friend, and thank you. Thank you for those kind words, and for bringing the lithium-ion battery hub. We're finally getting it done. I can't believe we're back. I mean, it's been a lot since last October, and it's because of everyone in this room that we're here. And I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Before I get into some remarks, I do want to acknowledge the Norden family. We're here in the front row. So, some time back, very recently, we actually lost a giant on our board, Bill Norden. And he was the type of person that was involved in every fire department organization. He was also an Eagle Scout, never said no, and he did everything like a gentleman. And I just want to say to all of you, and it's tough looking at all of you, thank you for letting us borrow him. Thank you. And I want to take a moment of silence for Bill, and if we can do that, please. Thank you all for being here today. On September 11, 2001, I lost my uncle, firefighter David Derubio, on the South Tower of the World Trade Center. It was a day that forever changed my life and brought me closer to the FDNY. Every day here at this museum, I set foot in this building, and I start or end my day, depending on how rough it is, in the 9/11 room. I speak to the members who have passed. I receive inspiration through looking at them and knowing their stories, their sacrifice, and it's something that drives me. The members in that room and the members who have died of illnesses carry me throughout my day. The members of this department who have served and are serving now, many of them lined up in this room, Ladder 8, 226. Thank you all for coming out today. You all carry me. I do this for you. I do this for the past and the present, and I say thank you. I'm forever grateful to all of you. Now to the thank yous, and I ask that you have patience because there's a lot. My family, my wife Crystal and two children, Lily and Charlie, who I've not seen much of in the past few months. I'm really grateful for their support and their guidance. To my mother and to my father, Battalion Chief Dominic Derubio, thank you for inspiring me. With my dad, as I grew up as a child watching him in the firehouse, I really came closer to the FDNY in this department. Thank you to my brother James, who continues to serve the city of New York as a first responder in the Port Authority Police Department. You also inspired me. Fire Commissioner Bonsignore, come over here. Thank you for your leadership and support of the museum, and we are so fortunate to have you as a friend. And we will sharpen that axe in the basement so we don't have issues. And I'll practice my radio skills. Angela Rodriguez, Ann Duckett, Gary Urbanowitz, Mo, Naomi, Chris Guglielmo, Michael Mulligan, Ed Flynn, Ed Shaw, the team that gets this done no matter how hard it is. We have a working simulator down there from the department now, We have a new store. We're not done. We're just getting started in there. And it's because of the volunteers that come out once a week, every Thursday typically. And we feed them with Parisis. It's really good sandwiches, so I think it's bringing them back. They come back and they get it done. To the New York City Fire Museum Board of Trustees, I say thank you. Ted Grant and the board, thank you for having faith in me over the past year. Our friends at the FDNY, First Deputy Dan Flynn, Chief of EMS Paul Miano, Karina Lesky, Darren Robinson, Marius Kalin, Lizette Christoph, Jason Shelley, Fabrizio Caro, Rene Mascal, Joe Malvasio, Nick Gus, painters Mike and Vinny, Kevin from Electric, Mike Walsh. Thank you for aiding us every step of the way over the past year. Jeremy Brooks, Paul Durakis. To our friends in government, Speaker Menon, Councilmember Chris Marte, who is here today, and Councilmember Ariel. We're getting the roof done on this building thanks to your support. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Assemblymember Glick for being a good friend to the New York City Fire Museum. Big Apple Renovations, Fred and John Norman, Mike Powell, Mason. Right, this was the team behind that floor, on the first floor. Does everybody like it? Does everybody like it? Rescue 1, which served in this house for 27 years. Ladder 8, Engine 226, Squad 18, 24 and 5. Paul McCormick of Ground Zero 360. To our friends at the BID, we have really good neighbors. Samara, Sean, Susie, thank you all for everything that you've done. Tito at Sanitation. Michael Barish, where are you? Stand up. Michael Barish has been an absolute friend to the museum and has done so much for us, and I'm forever grateful to you. We also have Gino Shea from the foundation here, and former Commissioner Sal Casano. Thank you for being good friends. Past executive directors Gary Benowitz and Jennifer Brown, who have been good friends to the museum and continue to stay involved, thank you. So where do we go from here? In 2 weeks, a bell will come to our museum, a bell from the oldest bell foundry in the world, the Marinelli Foundry. The foundry, over 800 years old, and in the 27th generation of family members, casted the World Trade Center responder bell at the end of last month, and it's now coming home to the New York City Fire Museum. The World Trade Center responder bell will serve as a permanent memorial to the FDNY members who died from illnesses as a result of their exposure at Ground Zero, and also other responders who served alongside them. Our journey will take us to Agnone, Italy, where the bell will be driven 10 hours to Sicily. The Italian firefighters agreed to drive it. So the bell can be transported on a US military plane with dignity and respect to the United States. This memorial will be unveiled at the 25-year anniversary ceremony in September. I want to say a special thank you to Rescue 1 for cutting bolts from World Trade Center steel that we had here, which will be incorporated into the supports of the stand. Michael Calderone was also a good friend, and the entire Italy delegation that traveled to see the bell poured last month. So what's next? Let's make this building whole. That's our first step. While we may have reopened, we still have a lot of work to do in this building, and spending the next 2 years making repairs at the interior and the exterior of the building. Next, representation. Over the next year, the museum will work towards creating more permanent exhibitions that represent all divisions of the New York City Fire Department, and we plan on starting with EMS. Next, the fire safety education. The lithium-ion battery hub will open at the New York City Fire Museum in February, March of 2027, and it will be the first of its kind in the country to educate the public on the hazards of lithium-ion batteries. We believe this will save lives. We also plan on expanding our partnership with NYCHA and faith-based institutions to expand outreach. The bottom line, we have a lot on our plate. But with friends like you, we will take this museum to greater heights, and I want to thank all of you for your support, and I am honored to introduce the New York City Fire Commissioner, Lillian Bonsignore.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a wonderful and exciting day. This is a good thing. We weren't sure what it was going to take to get here, but you got us here, Dom, and the board, and everybody who worked for this. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate the reopening of the New York City Fire Museum. The museum is a place where history of the FDNY is preserved, where the stories of generations of firefighters, EMTs and paramedics, fire marshals, inspectors, and civilian members come to life, and where visitors from all around the world gain a deeper appreciation for the men and women who have dedicated themselves to protecting this city. Everything here, all the equipment, the pictures, the artifacts, the exhibits, they all tell a story of courage, innovation, sacrifice, and service. Together, they remind us that the FDNY's history is the foundation upon which this department continues to build. With the 25th anniversary of September 11th just right around the corner, the museum takes on even a greater significance. It's lasting reminder of the extraordinary bravery displayed by our members that day, the sacrifices they made, and the generations who continue to carry that legacy forward. This place ensures those stories will continue to educate and inspire future generations. The reopening of this museum also reflects our commitment to preserving the department's rich history while making it more accessible to the public. I want to thank the Fire Museum staff, the board of directors, Dom, everyone who just worked so hard to make this reopening possible. Preserving history requires dedication, and your efforts ensure that the remarkable story of the department will continue to be shared for generations to come. I encourage everyone to spend some time exploring the exhibits and reflect on the remarkable history that they represent. Remember, the story of the FDNY is above all a story of service, and it is a story that never ends. It will always be able to be depended on. And here today, we get to share this incredible moment together. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner. I would now like to ask Councilmember Christopher Marte to come up and provide some brief remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Councilmember Christopher Marte, and I represent the New York City Fire Museum and its grand opening. Congratulations to everyone involved. As someone who grew up in Lower Manhattan, the experience of 9/11 and what's been happening since lives with me every single day. I remember being a sixth grader a few years after the incident happened and opening up my textbook and seeing the towers in paper. It was a shocking moment for me because typically when you open up your history books, you see something from 100 years, thousands of years, but this is something that happened to me, happened to my family, happened to my neighbors, to people who worked with my dad in J&R Music Store. And for me, it was a surreal moment. Years later, as an elected official, as an activist, I always kept on thinking, how do we make sure this history doesn't disappear? I'd like to thank all the people on the community board and organizations that opened the 9/11 Museum. But for folks who understand the people who gave up their lives every single day going down to ground zero, they needed to be honored as well. Fortunately, as an elected official, I was able to come to this building every 9/11 to honor their history and the rich past of the Fire Museum, but we needed something great. We needed something where every single New Yorker, no matter if you're a kid in the sixth grade or a senior or a tourist visiting New York City, to come in and really understand the rich history of this agency and the legacy. And that's what we have today. It's a remarkable achievement, and I really want to thank Dom. I met Dom in November. He was a few weeks in his job, and he said, we're going to open this up, but I need your help. We're going to need funds to fix the roof, and once we fix the roof, this museum can be open forever and for everyone. In February, I met and sat down with the commissioner, and it took 2 minutes when I told her I really wanted to help invest in this museum, and she said, absolutely, you have my support. In the spring, I went to the Speaker's office and I said, Speaker Menon, can you help us really fund this museum and make it long-lasting And she said, absolutely. These were the easiest budget discussions I have ever had. And it was because these people understood what this building means. And my final conversation was with the great council member, Joanne Ariola, where we were having a press conference at a fire engine not too far away from here. And as chair of the Fire and Emergency Management Committee, I said, hey, can you help me really push this through in the final hour to make sure we could get this $900,000 allocated to this museum? And she said, I already had the conversations with the Speaker's office. And so I just really want to thank everyone here because it was a team effort. It was people willing not to put mountains or obstacles along our way to make this day truly a reality. And so thank you for everyone who probably wasn't acknowledged today, the people who've donated to this museum, the people who sacrificed time and energy to keep this building open, keep this building standing through litigation, through complications, through lack of funding. Everyone who put a dime in, anyone who took time to make this happen, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Marte. I'd now like to call to the podium Councilmember Joanne Ariola, Chair of the Fire and Emergency Management Committee.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here with you this morning. In just a few weeks, we will mark the 25th anniversary of the terrorist attack of September 11th. And for the FDNY anniversary, who carries the weight of that day in a way that we will never really be able to capture. On that terrible morning, 343 members of this department gave their lives answering a call to protect their fellow New Yorkers. In the years since, we've lost far too many more to illnesses connected to their services at Ground Zero. That courage is a part of the history that is preserved within these walls. But this museum tells an even larger story. It tells the story of a generation of New York City firefighters who have run towards danger while others have run away. It tells the story of families who wait for them, wondering, will they come home? The firehouses that become their second home, and the tradition of service that has been passed from one generation to another, and it endures still today. Councilmember Marte is right. This was one of the easiest budget asks that we had ever made. It started for me with a call from Dominic Derubio saying, we need a new roof. And then he said, can you please help? It was no-brainer for me to then speak with my amazing colleague, Christopher Marte, because this is his district. And he said, I'm already on it. We need to do this. And when it did go to the speaker, she was so open to it because she was a victim, her own business was lost in 9/11. And she was there and she advocated for firefighters, for the small businesses, and for the rebuilding of downtown Manhattan. So you can see how we're all invested in this. But you also see that this was done, as Councilmember Marte said, as a team. It is a bipartisan team, which is how this city should always work. But for the fire department, it will always work that way. And for the people who are sitting up here with us, these people, I am so honored to be the chair of Fire and Emergency Management and work with them on a daily basis. So today we talk about reopening this amazing museum, but it's also about preserving a promise. We will remember the heroes who served this city, and especially those who have fallen to keep the rest of us safe. We will tell their stories, and we will make sure that generations that follow understand that men and women of the FDNY have given their all to this city. Congratulations to everyone who was involved in making this happen. And Dominic, our Zoom meeting got the ball rolling. And your conversations with Chris Marte and then our conversations with the speaker, that's what makes things happen. And we are so proud to stand here today, and I thank Chris Marte, I thank Speaker Julie Menin for making our advocacy a reality by giving the $900,000 that's needed to fix the roof. As the council member said, it doesn't always happen that way, but it happened now. So what I say in closing is, may God continue to bless this museum, the FDNY, and this great city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Arreola. Before we close, I just want to make a few remarks, brief remarks. I want to thank ABC and Disney for being a good friend. We've had a ride, and they have been an amazing friend to us and a great neighbor, and we are looking to continue that relationship over the next few years. I want everyone here to mill around, enjoy the museum. It's free today. You don't have to pay anything. There's coffee and donuts in the back. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and for all of your support. Yes.
We'll get that interfaith group to come. Please.
I don't include the rabbi, but